welcome to Sports Talk. I'm Frank Noppenberger, the Supervisor of Athletics for the East Brunswick School District, and your host for today's show. Today we have three special guests, three outstanding athletes for the East Brunswick School District. They're finishing up their careers, and at the same time we're finishing up one of our best ever athletic years at East Brunswick, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit about our season this year. First we have John Parke. John Parke is a 4.1 GPA student. He's captain football, wrestling, and lacrosse from us. We have Megan Donovan. Megan Donovan is one of our outstanding distance runners, cross country, winter track, and spring track. And last but certainly not least is Chris Affinito, the outstanding baseball player. And Chris's season is still going on when we have the GMC Championships on June 1st down at Somerset Park. So welcome, guys. I just want you to relax here, and what we're going to do is we're going to just talk, because there's an audience out there who wants to know all about you guys. My first question is going to be for you, Meg. Megan, I've watched you grow up as a little kid. You're a very good basketball player, a very good softball player. As a matter of fact, you led it in softball at East Brunswick. But during your going into your junior year, you dropped it all, decided to run. And I know running's in the family genes, but what made you make that decision?
I felt like in cross country, afterwards, I felt like I could achieve so much more in running, and I felt year-round running would definitely better my chances of even winning the GMCs for cross country. And then once I did, it was really hard to give up those other sports, but once I did, I didn't regret it, because I did improve so much the next year in cross country, and I was able to be in the top 10 in the county and eventually be one of the top runners to watch out for. And I really felt like concentrating on running was the best thing to do, because I felt like I was the best at that.
Did you ever think as a 6th, 7th, 8th grader that you'd be a runner?
No. I felt like I really loved soccer, basketball, and softball, all the team sports, but I would go and watch my brother run, and I really thought that that could be something that I could do eventually in the future. And once I did go out for cross country and I did really well as a freshman, I really thought that I could really make an impact.
Well, you did. Well, you did. You did a great job for us. Johnny Parke. Johnny Parke, unique three combination: football, wrestling, and lacrosse. John, if you concentrated on one sport, I'm sure you could have been I'm sure you had offers anyway to scholarship this year, but if you concentrated on one, you probably would have been a scholarship player at a D1 school. Do you have any regrets about not concentrating?
Not really. I feel like that playing three sports, one helped me better, got me better at the next sport. Say for wrestling, got my balance better, and it definitely contributes to football, tackling kids. And every sport just helps each other out. And especially wrestling got me into shape for the rest of the year. And it I don't know, I guess if I just played football, and I could have got a lot bigger, but I don't think it would have paid off that much.
You said about getting in shape, John. There's no way you can be in shape for wrestling. Can you agree with that?
Yeah.
Right, right. Football? Are you ever in shape for football?
I think I went to summer conditionings every day all summer for the past 3 or 4 years.
It helps.
And I think it obviously helps, but still, it doesn't compare to wrestling at all.
Yeah. Now, what was your conditioning level when you were in goal for us 2 years in lacrosse?
Oh, well, went from wrestling
Is this what you do?
Yeah, basically. Went from wrestling being in the best shape of the year, and then gradually just gaining weight, just standing there and doing nothing.
Okay, and now Chris, outstanding baseball player. You're going to Seton Hall on a scholarship. I've seen you make some great catches, some great runs. You're an athlete. You never competed in anything else. Any regrets about that? And tell us why you just decided on baseball.
Actually, if I could go back in time, I would probably try and play another sport. It has its pluses and it has its disadvantages, because all year I train for baseball. I think that's what gives me a little advantage over some of the kids, because it's a 12-month sport for me, because I'm always conditioning and stuff like that. But if I think I could go back in time, I would definitely try and play another sport.
I'm going to ask you later what sport that may be. All year-round conditioning. Now, John, you do 3 sports. Meg, I know you run all year. What does a baseball, I know what they do, but tell us what a baseball guy does in the winter or late fall?
Basically, there's fall baseball, so you play fall baseball until September, October, and then once that, you basically have a week off, and then you start with basically a lot of power, basically lifting and stuff like that, and then as the season goes on, gets closer, you start doing a lot more agility and stretching. So basically, you just do a lot of agility stuff to get your feet quicker, your arms stronger, because...
How about hitting? Do you hit every day?
I take about, when I'm lifting heavy, right after the fall season, I don't hit. So I lift heavy for about maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But right after that, I start hitting again because I miss it too much.
All right. You guys all had a big decision to make in the last few months, and that's what college you're going to go to. So what I want to know is what college you're going to go to, why you chose it, your major, and if you're going to compete in sports. Chris, I think your answer is the easy one. I said you're going to Seton Hall. Why Seton Hall?
It just has a lot of history behind it, and when I went to the school, I just fell in love with the school. I mean, the coaching staff was excellent. I mean, I got along with them as soon as I, stepped foot on campus. I just loved it.
When did that recruiting process for you start with them?
That started probably late August. It was the first time I got contact with them. And probably 2 weeks after I started talking to them, they invited me for an unofficial visit. And then about 2 weeks later, I went to an official visit when you sleep over, and I just loved it.
Good. Great baseball tradition, as you said. Johnny Parke, going to Rutgers. Major?
This year I'm going to be majoring in finance and maybe even economics as well. But
You going to give wrestling a shot, or
no, I don't think I'm going to be doing anything next year.
just study? Play
Yeah.
some club sports? They have a great club program in the Murals. You're going to live at campus, right?
Yeah,
Mom throw you out or what?
basically.
No, she didn't. She loves you. Meg, you're going to
Ramapo
Ramapo.
College. Yeah, and I really got interested in because I went to on-campus admissions, and then right there on site you get admitted, and I talked to the coach then, and he was really interested. So then we talked throughout the year, and I decided to go there because I loved it.
Right. Chris, besides athletics, what other school activities, because you guys are like role models, believe it or not, what other school and community activities are you involved with in the...
I'm part of the Italian club, and basically that's the only club that's the only club I have time for during after school, because I'm always
You have
lifting and
baseball,
working
but-
out.
Can you speak Italian?
Somewhat, a little bit.
You want to
little
say
bit.
anything?
No,
Say hello to
no.
Mom, Dad? No?
No, it's all right.
Meg, you're very involved, right?
Well, somewhat. Try to get involved. I Spanish club, and then I try to do all the school activities, like hall decorating, get involved in that. But mostly, it's running a lot.
Makes the high school experience much more enjoyable. It's got to, right? Yeah. John? Three
Aside
sports, not much, huh?
Yeah, but aside from sports, I'm in the National Honor Society as well as Principals Council. So I try to stay involved when I can.
You in anyone's doghouse? No? No. I'm writing a book, and it's all about motivating kids and what motivates young athletes. John, what motivates you? We were talking earlier. Some people are motivated by the fear of failure. Some are motivated by the joy of winning. Some are motivated because they want to see their name in the paper. What motivates John Parke?
I'd say definitely winning. I mean, obviously that's what everyone goes out to do. But really, I focus everything on winning. And they say winning's not everything, but basically is.
Yeah.
And success comes with winning.
You've had many more times your hand was raised as a wrestler, being a county champ and district champ, conference champ, district champ. You did lose a couple. Is it tough shaking his hand after the loss?
It depends what kind of matches. Some matches, if it's a kid you don't like, or if it's a kid you know that's better than you, then it's not that bad. But when it's a kid you don't like, it's just
If you're upset?
yeah, it's kind of the worst thing.
The worst type of defeat is probably when you're the favorite and the underdog
Yeah,
beats you.
definitely.
Interesting. Meg, you run the best race of your life, and somebody trips you, and you get DQ'd or whatever. No, just kidding. Can you shake hands with that person after?
Well, usually I'm really upset after losing the race, but usually I can go over, and after if I know that they really beat me doing their best, I go over there and shake their hand because I know on that day they were better than me, but next time I'll get them.
What about what motivates you, Meg?
Definitely knowing like that girl is out there running just as hard as me, and I just want to run just as fast as her any given day. Like I just want to do my best and win.
What was your favorite event? If you could be an Olympic champion in one of those events?
My favorite event, probably the mile.
Well, yeah,
Most exciting, I think.
me too. Chris, what motivates you?
It's a combination of things. I would have to say it's the fear of failing, like you were saying, because I hate to lose. And also it is that, I'd like to be successful. I like to be in the spotlight all the time. So it just, makes you work that much harder, be that much better than everybody else, and just work your butt off.
John, I hope this answer is probably easy. Do you think it's best to specialize or play a lot of sports for a kid? And if he does specialize, when should they make that decision?
I think it's better to play as many sports as you can when you're younger, especially because some kids just come up playing one sport and they realize once they get to high school that they don't like it anymore, like their parents force them to play it or whatever the case may be. But I think when you're younger, they can only help each other out. Get one. If you're better at one, you're gonna get better at the other, and just like the work ethic just carries right over. So I'd say, and then, if you're going to specialize, you might as well specialize in say sophomore year, because that's when time is to excel, when everybody else is playing the rest of their sports.
Meg?
Definitely try as many sports as you can and see which one you like the best. Like I tried as many sports as possible, and I found that running was my thing. But there's always good athletes that are good at 3 different sports, such as Johnny. But I felt like that the great distance runners in county, they specialized in running all year round, and I felt like I had to do the same thing.
Justin Granite's a very good runner and a very good soccer player. How difficult is it for you to be a good runner, distance runner, and then be maybe a lacrosse player, baseball or basketball? Is that possible, or is it an all-year top-notch conditioning?
I think it's definitely possible, because I definitely did it my sophomore year. I was able to be really good in cross country, and I was able to letter in softball my sophomore year and play star varsity for GMCs and stuff. I think it's very possible to be able to do another sport besides running. You definitely, because running definitely enables you to achieve more in another sport, because it keeps you in that great shape.
Right, I agree. Chris, you said it before, and now I'm going to ask you. If you could be a superstar in any other sport, Chris, besides baseball, what would it be and why?
It'd definitely be lacrosse, because a lot of my friends play lacrosse, and just on Saturdays, on the weekends, we just go out there and play catch and everything, and it's a lot more aggressive. So I don't know, I just like playing it.
Yeah. John?
I'd say basketball. It takes away all the contact, which is my favorite, but it's one thing I was never really good at.
Did you say there's no contact in basketball?
Yeah, no real contact.
That sounds like a typical wrestler, but that's all right.
Well, as opposed to football, lacrosse,
Right.
and wrestling. But yeah, I think you're always in the limelight. It's not cold out.
Meg?
Definitely basketball, because I always loved basketball. It's just a fast-paced game, running up and down the floor. Just taking someone one-on-one, it's just great.
I know you guys a little bit, and this is a difficult question, but for you to answer, I'm sure, because all of you are very shy. How would you want to be remembered, Chris, as an athlete at East Brunswick?
I have to say, dedicated, motivated, and really wanted to play and wanted to do his best every time he stepped on the field.
Meg, that plaque that's going to go up in the gym with your picture there, what do you want written under there? How are they going to remember you?
Hardworking, dedicated, and just a good role model for others, and just a good leader, and pushes everyone to do their best.
John?
I'd say a tough kid who couldn't accept losing, and just refused to lose and do whatever it took for the as a team.
I think you accept losing. I think, do you hide it well?
So it depends on the situation.
I've never seen you lose your poise out there. I think I see you bark at your teammates now and then. You got a reputation for doing that, John?
No.
No? Role models, I'm big on that. And as you know, Derek Jeter says that you should have lots of role models. You may like one particular athlete for this, or a president for this, or a scientist for this, or a teacher for this. So he believes you should have many role models. All right? Should professional athletes be role models?
I think in some situations they definitely should be. Like for instance, one of my role models is Terrell Owens. Like his off-field antics aren't like the best, but like his work ethic and the way he performs on the field is definitely like something that should be looked at from a kid's point of
He
view.
is one of your role models.
Yeah.
Do you like everything about him?
Yeah.
Wow, isn't it? I don't see that, but that's okay. Chris?
I think they should be, because when you're on that big of a stage and you know like almost everybody in the world is always watching you, you have to be aware of what you're doing and how you're doing things, because people are always watching.
You can't. What if you can't be yourself?
Well, that's the price you have to pay to be on that big of a stage.
But who was it? Barkley. He says, I'm not here to be your role model. That's your job. That's your mother and father's job. Respond to that.
That's his choice. I mean, it depends on the person. But I know if I was on that big of a stage, you always have to be conscious of what you're doing and how you're doing it and who's watching.
Meg, do you think you're a role model for anybody?
I think so. Like, I think a lot of the freshmen do look up to me. Like, just like on distance runs, like they try to keep up with you and stuff. I think like in the eyes of younger athletes, they do like somewhat try to be like you because they know what they have to achieve. Like what they have to go for. Like who they have to be like.
Yeah, and I think winning permeates with each other, and it's a tradition. I'm big on tradition. And if that senior class or that junior class ahead of you, if they're hard workers, if they're, doing everything they're supposed to do, that younger class, that younger group is going to see it. I often wonder, not having freshmen up at the building as role models. Well, let me ask that question. Do you think not having freshmen in the building and to see them in the hallway, do you think that would hurt our athletic program? There's a freshman out there. He sees Johnny Parke work, or he sees Chris in the batting cage every day. What do you think?
I don't think it really hurts our program in any way, but like I guess kind of like stops us from maybe like communicating or helping them out in some ways. Like maybe if like kids like you saw them outside the high school, you'd be able to say, oh, like get in the weight room, like a kid you knew, but like if they're not at the high school because at Churchill, like you can't help them that way.
Now you have a lot of interaction with the freshmen, right,
Yeah.
Meg? But on the runs, they're usually, some of them are like lagging behind. But did they ever talk to you about running and ask you advice and stuff?
Yeah, most of the time, they ask me what I do over the summer to keep in shape, so I give them tips about like going to camp, or like last summer I got a lot of the girls together to do runs like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that really helped. I give them advice here and there.
Chris, I'm sure those young freshmen, when you're at bat, because I know when you're at bat, everything stops. It's like that commercial, you have Hutton, Chris is up at bat. Serious. No, I'm serious. But they do watch you. How do you feel about that? Is there added pressure to that, to you?
I really don't think so, because I'm used to it, and it doesn't really bother me anymore. But you just have to overcome things like that and just perform and do what you have to do.
Yeah, being a role model, I mean, I know you guys don't see it, but Johnny, you're a scholar athlete for the conference, and you're too, Megan. We're going to that dinner in a couple of weeks. They've got to look at you and say, how can a guy be a three-sport star, be a 4.1 GPA? What do you think that's?
Well, really, I think it's a lot of what your parents make you. Like, I mean, my parents obviously pushed me to do my homework and this and that, and I made sure like my sports and my academics came like as the same, didn't put one over the other. And like I made sure I did my homework as soon as I got home from practice, before I watched TV.
John,
before I slept.
look me now. You tell me you went home from practice and you went hit the books.
Yeah.
Every night.
I'd say 4 to 5
Except that last semester, senior year.
Well, now it's obviously different, but I'd say over the first 3 years.
Really? Meg?
Same. Like, sports keeps you on like a schedule. Like, you have to keep up with your work. Like, you can't slack off where you're gonna like be up until like the early hours in the morning. Like, you have to come home after practice, do it, and then you can eat dinner and then eventually study and stuff. But like, it keeps you on a regimented schedule like every day.
Chris? The question is, how do you balance all that academics and do you go home and do homework right away?
Not all the time. I should have, but I mean,
Well, you're a good student. You're a 3-something. It's not like you're,
it all depends on the schedule, how you schedule things. And if you have a good schedule, you're going to get the things done that you need to get done.
If you had a choice, I'll throw this one out, to get an academic or an athletic scholarship to a school, what would you take?
Well, I don't know. It depends. Like, I guess if you feel you're a really good athlete and you can go to the pros potentially one day, then I'm sure athletic would be the best. But otherwise, I'd say academics because that's where the money's at.
Now, you said T.O.'s your favorite athlete. We're not going to, well, he's not around anymore. Give me your second favorite athlete and tell me why, John.
I'd say like Jerry Rice. I like the 49ers when I was younger and I still do. And he was like the best player on the team.
Yeah. He's a great role model in my mind. I think his consistency. Is he still playing or did he retire?
Yeah, I think the Broncos are looking at him now.
Yeah. Chris, we were talking earlier. You said Mattingly.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah. He's just like every time I think of him, I always think like he's a blue collar guy that always worked his hardest to be the best and to get the starting position every day.
Do you work your hardest every day?
Yeah.
Josh Miller's. Josh. He punted for us. And I saw him one day. I said, Josh, what do you guys do, like in the off season and stuff? He says he does something every day of his life to continue to maintain or improve his ability. He says, because there's only, how many NFL teams, John? 35, 32? There's only 32 people in the United States that do what I do. And the difference between me and that other guy is this. So he says, every day I do something to maintain. And as an athlete, you've got to do it every day. I often wonder why we practicing every day, but you've got to stay at that point. Meg, favorite athlete?
Favorite athlete.
Besides Johnny Parke.
Like I could pick anyone.
Sure.
Shaquille O'Neal. What? I'm gonna pick a runner. No one's gonna know who that is.
Yeah, they will.
No, they won't.
Prefontaine,
All right,
Jim Ryan.
Prefontaine. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
All the good movies. Yeah.
Right. All right. If you had a little brother or sister, what would you tell them about athletics, Chris? About how to get involved and how to approach it?
Just as a young kid, you should just try and get involved in everything you can, every sport you want to be in, or every sport that you can play, and then from there, just try and pick the ones that you like the best and the ones that you're better at, and just try and perfect your skills from there.
Would you steer them away from a sport? Would you have them play a particular sport at a younger age?
No, I would just let them play whatever sport they want to play at when they want to play it.
Meg, you know what I feel? I feel that if you play soccer at a young age, it's going to develop all this lateral movement like you talked about before and quick feet. What do you think about that? If everyone played soccer, because any movement you use in athletics is on the soccer field.
Yeah, I think soccer helped me a lot, even like to get in shape for running. But I think like you could tell like with other schools that like the earlier they start with running, like Old Bridge, they start in middle school in 6th grade, that like they have that edge over you like right away. Like when I came in freshman year, I had like no experience or anything. I just had to like run as much as I could. But like they have so much running under their belt that like they have so much over you that like they peak like in like freshman year, like some of them are like top in the state, like while like I'm peaking like junior and senior year, while like they have the extra 3 years before me.
You don't think there's a burnout factor in there?
Yeah, there's like an edge, like a line between like burnout and like you have to be careful, because I definitely think like Old Bridge girls like burn out a lot easier than like we do. Like you definitely have to be careful of how much you run and like how hard you work out. Like
that supports Johnny's theory. You go from one sport to the other. All right, I'm going to go 2 questions to you. In 10 years, what do you want to be doing? And then we're going to go through that. Then we're going to ask you what's your fondest high school athletic memory. All right, and then you can ask me a question about the athletic program. John, in 10 years.
10 years from now, hopefully I'll be working for like a big Fortune 500 company. Maybe like a CEO.
You want to be owning it or what?
Maybe. Depends. But like hopefully I have an MBA.
Business, huh?
Business, yeah.
Meg, in 10 years.
hopefully like teaching or coaching, one of those. Yeah.
Great. What do you think you want to coach?
track.
Yeah, who would you like to be like, Mr. Murray? We had
Yeah.
a girl on here a couple years ago and said, "Oh, Mr. Murray's always hollering at me."
Yeah, I'd definitely be screaming at the girls probably.
Chris, in 10 years,
I would
now
have,
batting. Go ahead.
yeah, I would have to say being a professional baseball player. I mean, that would be perfect.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've told you many times, somebody's got to be it. Why not you? You know, someone's got to be president of the United States. You know, Derek Jeter again. He says, just dream, just keep dreaming, set goals, and goals are, you know, that's part of your dream. You know, just keep setting them. Fondest high school memory.
I would definitely
Fun.
say.
Oh.
Okay.
I think I know what you're going to say, John, but I want you to tell us about that whole feeling anyway.
Well, most likely, obviously, I'd say winning the state championship in football. But like at the same time, when it happened, I felt like a dream.
Yeah.
Like, because obviously when you're younger, all like Varsity Blues, all the football movies, they always win their state championship high school senior year, and that's just the way it was. And we always said like, oh yeah, senior year is the year to do it.
Yeah, to me, I coached football here. We never won it. We knocked on the door a few times, and I was so proud of everyone and to be a part of it down there. It was just surreal. I'll never forget that. Meg?
Probably definitely this past weekend at GMC's getting second in 2 mile, because just the fact that like no one expected me to be like up there like this year. So like I'm really happy with like how the year turned out.
Christopher, mine for yours is what? Junior year.
Yeah, against North Brunswick.
Yeah, that homer.
That's what I was going to
and
say.
that is a little ahead of the homer you hit your sophomore year down at the Somerset. Mm-hmm. But tell us about that homer against North.
Sophomore year, we were playing North Brunswick High School. We were down by 3.
Junior year, I thought.
No, sophomore year.
Oh.
Sophomore year. We were down by 3. I think it was going in the 6th or 7th inning, and it was 2nd and 3rd. And I hit a home run to tie the game. Yeah. And then we ended up winning that game on a squeeze.
On a squeeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, homer to tie it and a squeeze to win it. Well, we've got about a minute left. Anyone have one question about the athletic department? If not, nothing. I think it's one of the best in the state, and it's a result of you guys, people like you, and certainly your parents. So I thank you. I thank you for being on the show. And it was my pleasure watching you guys compete for these last 3 years. Good luck to you in the GMC, in the States. John, you had a great career. I know you guys are finished. So again, guys, thank you for everything. I enjoyed watching you guys compete as athletes. I know you'll be successful. And once again, I'm Frank Noppenberger for Sports Talk. And join us next month as we have our spring sports review.